Hey guys, it's your girl Lakia Maria and welcome to another video here on the channel. Whether you're new to the channel or an OG, I primarily share planning and organizational videos, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my mid-month budget check-in for the month of December. Just a little bit about me and my financial journey. I have shared in the past that I am on a lower income. I make on average $2,000 a month as a part-time nanny, and I do get paid weekly. Before, when I started this journey, I had a lot of things that I needed to catch up on and pay. I was also paying rent at the time. So between all of that, I felt like I didn't really have control of my money, and I was still spending more than I was saving, and I wasn't budgeting. I tried to budget, and I tried the cash envelope system. I've tried a whole bunch of different things, and it just never worked. So this time around, as I had a move coming up and I just sold my grandmother's house, with that move and everything and getting her relocated and me relocating, I have more space in my budget to save in different areas, which is a luxury for me now to be able to save, because before I felt like I couldn't. Although I could have, I just didn't have a good relationship with money, which is what I'm really trying to change this time around. So I'm calling this my trial and error month, as I'm still trying to navigate, but going into the first quarter of 2022, I have my financial goals. I'll have a whole bunch of links in the description box for you guys to check out as far as my whole journey with this low income, as well as my goals, including my financial goals for 2022, and also people that I have been watching here on YouTube that I have found helpful in my financial journey and getting a budget together. So my system that I'm currently using, I have tried paper budgeting in the past, but for my 30th birthday, I treated myself to a iPad Air 4th edition, and this is where all of my budgeting is. And I also talked about this in my planner lineup. I have found it so helpful to not have to lay down a sticker here, or I have tried paper planning with the budgeting, and this is a game changer for me. So I use GoodNotes. This I made in Canva. Very, very simple. And Canva is a free app. There are paid things that you can purchase, but also a paid subscription. I have a paid because I do a lot of social media marketing, but this is one of the free things that you can make, and it's super easy. Now with GoodNotes, you don't necessarily have tabs. So what I do is come over here to where these three dots are, and then add this page to outline. And I am going to call it December Budget 2020. I'm jumping to a whole nother century. All right, 2021. And then I come over here to where these four boxes are. And then I click on outlines. I have my November budget and my December budget. And once I click on that, I'll be able to go through my budget. Same thing with November if I wanted to go back and look. So those are just easy toggles for me to be able to jump from month to month and have a little bit of organization within the system. Here is my monthly. This is from the Budget Mom. This is a freebie, and I have a lot of things color coded throughout my system. Everything pretty much has a category. So my bills in my monthly are yellow. My credit is red, my paydays are green, and then my savings, which I have an automated savings at the end of the month of $25. It's just always been there for quite some time, so I haven't changed it or increased it, but I do plan on increasing throughout the month. So here is my monthly budget for December. Again, I am still tweaking my system and still working on it. So I wrote over here the weeks, and then I put in the amount that I expected to make, and then what I actually make, I write it in red. So that is that. And I think I have one more payment before I can check that off. This hasn't happened yet, but this is also another freebie from the Budget Mom. Now this one I got off of Etsy, and this is where I keep track of everything on my Amex. My Amex is $375. It was not supposed to be this high, and the due date is, I'm actually gonna write that in. My due date is 1/16/22. So I went and made purchases, and once I made those purchases, I returned some things, and what they did was deduct it from the current balance and my payment that I paid on the 16th of December was significantly lower because all those returns that I made from purchases that I made in December, well, the billing period of 11/22 to 12/21, it was deducted from what was actually owed. So this $375 is a little overlap, but I have budgeted out a way to put aside from each check so that when January 16th does roll around, I'll be getting paid right before the 16th of January. I'll be getting paid the 14th, and that's when I'll be paying the bill. So from the 14th, I'll be putting aside money and then adding it to what I already have saved. So I'm going to be saving $75 from now, from the check of the 17th, since I'm getting paid today, all the way until the 14th. $75, that's going to add up to $375. And if I do put aside some more, if I do have the room to do that, then I will. But $75 is pretty reasonable. So this is what I use for that. So I just have a separate one for any charges that I put on my Amex. And then this was for the first week in December. And I confused myself even looking at this. This is one that I purchased from the Budget Mom. This is the Paycheck bill tracker. And I just put in the paycheck date. So for the week that ended in 12/3, this was that overlap week from November 29th to December 3rd. I had quite a bit going on. I did some bonus babysitting, and then I had my regular nanny job. So that's the $500 that I based it off of. And then this money from the babysitting is what I use to leave a cushion in my checking account, because I feel that that is very, very important. So in case anything happens, I don't necessarily have to move things around from my sinking funds. I have that little cushion to fall back on and not have to touch my savings. So I had my bills written here, the actual, it was pretty accurate. The 5610, I'm not exactly sure if I saved that, but I know that I saved 50 this past week. So this was a trial and error week, but this is where I started my sinking funds. Now, this is the expense tracker that goes with that week, and everything is color coded. The cool thing about this is that if I want to copy this from page to page, all I have to do is use this little lasso tool, highlight it like this, just highlight it, copy it, hold it, copy it, and then I can hold it again and paste it. And there I have it. So that's one thing I like about that, and not having to repetitiously write things over. And then everything, as you see, has a color. And then at the end of the month, I go and add everything up into its separate categories to see where I can decrease. So one new thing that I added was Cash App, because I've implemented both a cash and cashless system, and I'm going to get more in depth with that in a future video. But I have my food and personal spending on my Cash App card, and then the rest of the savings I have in this binder that I got off of Amazon. Still need to decorate it, still need to label it, but so far I have been taking cash. I know some people are not into the whole cash envelope system. I have a hybrid right now. I don't know if I'm going to end up having another one, because I know a lot of people, especially with the circumstances that we're in now with this pandemic, they don't use cash. And plus, it's just 2021 going on 2022. A lot of people don't use cash, but that is what I have right now in place. And taking that money out and separating it, it seems to be working for me. So we'll see how long that lasts. Now, this was the week of 12/10. And I made $650. That extra $150 was fluctuated into $50 was put into my savings from that checking cushion, and the rest was left there. This was a big week. I realized at the middle of the month, because I have so many things due, my Amex, and I'm looking at January. So between my T-Mobile bill being due on the 11th, and then that following week is my Amex bill. But again, I'm saving for that. But this is where I realized the bulk of it is the middle of the month and then the last week of the month. So there is a week that I will have more wiggle room to put money aside for different things, to put more into my sinking funds, I should say. And I put over here that I have this in my Cash App card, and then I have this as cash. So I went to the bank, I had to make a deposit, and then I took from that deposit, I just asked for change for $20, and I put $5 in my gifts pile and $15 in my car maintenance. And that's another thing that I want to add in is for my cash envelopes. I'm looking for a system. I've seen some people how they use it, but I have not found a system to have that digital just yet. Now, one thing I do have is on my phone, I'm using this Envy app. And this is where I'm keeping up with all of my cash envelopes. I did pay the $2.99 to have as many, to be able to add as many envelopes as I want. So that's why this number is so high. But what I use on a regular is the $39.19, the $52.28 for my food, and then the $10 for my, that's what I currently have in my transportation. So every time I use my Cash App card, I just come over here and I deduct it. So this is what I put in on the 5th. I did not add any money because I really didn't have any money to allocate for the week of the 10th. So I didn't put anything into my personal spending because I still had at least half of it left. So that's a big thing for me, to not have added anything. So that means that I'm on average spending $50 a week in the personal area. Food though, I'm pretty much spending about $100. But this is where I'm at, and it's a Friday. So that's actually pretty good. I don't know if I put in what I spent. Yep, yesterday was the 15th. I went to Quick Check. There's a Quick Check that's missing from here that is not added. So I need to go ahead and add that. So I have 11.12 and 11.26. Quick Check. 11.26. I thought I had added that, but it was not added. And then it just has the date there. So I'm looking at $40 or so. And I do eat takeout a lot. I should be cooking, but I don't. But that's a goal. That's another goal that I have for the new year, is to see how I can decrease my food budget. But so far, so good. All right. So I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be adding. And that leads me to the current week that we have here. As you can see, everything is color coded for this particular week. So my week for me starts on the 17th, and it's going to go all the way until the 23rd. And then from the 23rd, I'm going to be off work for a week because of the holidays. So I'll get to that in a second. I'm jumping the gun. So I have set aside $100 for food and then $100 for personal. And even though I do have some wiggle room still left in here, I'm going to go ahead and transfer that $100, that $250. Now, for this particular week, I did end up working an extra hour. So that's $520. And this Apple one right here that I didn't even realize was coming out on the 21st. I did not go ahead and calculate that into here because it's coming out of the little cushion, because this whole little having like $4.29 or I literally just rounded it. So that $1 is going to be coming out of my cushion. Now that $520 that I have, when you take the $520, and then I'm just going to put that this is coming out of my cushion. So I'm just going to put 50 here, and then that's $450. Now from that $450, what I have left over is $450. Oh no, it's not $450. I'm lying. I'm just looking at the number. It's $520 minus $450. And that is $520 minus 50, I'm sorry. $470. Duh, Lakia, add $20. Why my brain wasn't just computing that is beyond me. So that's $470. So then we have the $470 here. I am going to go ahead and put the money that I want from that into these particular funds, and all these are going to be going on my Cash App card, because I would prefer to just be able to look at my expenses and my cushion from my regular savings and then just have this separate. So the 470 minus the 250 leaves me with 220. Okay, I'm also thinking about not putting, okay, so I'm also thinking about not putting this inside of here, like the full 100. I'm gonna do 75 in my personal spending, and then 50 in gas. So 100 plus, so 150 plus the 75 equals 225. So the 470 minus 225 equals 245. So then over here, what I have left over is 245. And I am going to add an extra $10 to gifts since Christmas is next week. So 10, 80, 50, 10, and 10. Actually, I'm also going to add another $10 to my car maintenance. So that's 60, 10, and 10. So when we add 10 plus 80 plus 60 plus 20 equals 170. So the 245 minus 170 should leave me with 75. And then what I have left over is 75. And that is what is going to the side. And then I'll have nothing left over. So I decreased my personal because I already have like 30, almost $40 in that account, well, in that envelope. So because I have that 40, once I add that 75, it's going to bring me over the $100 mark. I really don't plan on spending that much. But for my gifts, if I do end up going over, it's going to be coming out of my own personal spending. But I don't plan on going over. And then my Amex, I'm on the road to saving the $75. And honestly, if I wanted to pay my Amex weekly, I could, which I might, so that I don't have to take that money out. It'll just be payment every week, so I don't have to take the money out. I've already started looking at 12/23 as well. These are the bills that I have coming out. And then this is my projection here, but we're gonna have to readjust some things at another date. And I had put like nothing in my personal spending for this week, so we'll see how much I actually make and how I fluctuate all of that, and you guys will be seeing that in my December monthly recap. But that is all the takeaways from this video. The Budget Mom Paycheck Bill Tracker, I'm loving it. I do need to find, when I'm actually working with my cash envelopes, I do need to find an insert to put inside of here, so I can keep track of how much I'm adding. Well, I have this, but I also want to have it inside of my actual budget planner. So I have my cash list and cash envelope system. I'll give more details on that. I have this app where I'm able to track how much is going into everything, all the envelopes, and I also have them separated by what's cash and cashless. So the yellow being my cash list, and then this actually being the cash. And I'm just still trying to navigate everything, but I feel good with this budget. I still have plenty in my cushion. I think I have like 160 just about in my cushion, and I want to continue to build that. And my savings, I took, I'm almost at 5 in my emergency savings. So 5 $1,000. So the situation that I'm in right now, being able to save more, I am going to not let that opportunity pass me by. So I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good, and that's what I'm gonna rock with. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope all of that made sense, as I'm still trying to process it myself, and I will be sharing more of this journey with you all. Feel free to leave any comments and questions that you have. Be sure to check out all the links in the description box. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And for all of you that are, I thank you. I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.